Youngaz Virgo males. So, as you can see, I'm not well, but I'm going to attempt to do your reading anyway. Kind of feel like a bad idea. But I'm pre-recording this because, as you know, when I do the lives, they interrupt my service and they like pixelate my video and mess with the audio, slow down the speed it up sometimes. They just, so I don't know, I'm gonna try to pre-record it and see if it works better, okay? Hopefully you can hear me absolutely fine. All right, so this is your divine protection reading. I am going to start now. Let's see what your messages are. Youngaz Virgo males, divine protection reading. Okay, so we have respectful, contemplation, cultured, confident. The underlying issue here is disrespectful. We have confusion. Then we have sad. Then we have irrational. So what I'm getting here is you're going through a spell of rebellion. We got disrespectful. So you're going through a spell of rebellion. You're upset. You're upset about something, someone. You're just creating confusion because you have confusion within. So I'm just getting a rebellious spirit. This is what you should be doing. Exaltation, rational, and bold. These are the things that you should be promoting and giving life to. Wise. So what I'm getting here is God want you to teach yourself to be respectful. Sorry. Respectful, contemplation. So that's to think about it and culture yourself to be that way. So train yourself to be that way. And that's gonna give you confidence. You need to have confidence in being respectful. If you're being respectful, it doesn't mean that people are going to take you for a fool. Some people will try, but not everybody. The right people respect. Okay? So God wants you to put this into practice. Stop being immature and wild. You taught yourself these things. It's time for you to put them, because they're actually defaming you. So it's like you're portraying a particular persona that you are not. So basically, you're behaving in this rebellious way for whatever reason. but you're not doing yourself any favors because that's not who you actually are. And part of the reason why you're being that is because you feel like if you're behaving in a respectful manner, people won't respect you. Okay? So God is saying that this is self-taught. You're not seeing it the correct way. And you're actually working against yourself when you behave in irrational, wild, immature ways. Okay, so let's read on. And God says you have divine protection in this, so just know that those who are meant to respect you, they will. Everybody won't love you, but that's okay. You don't love everybody. That's okay too. But at least be respectful to the ones who are willing to love you. Because when you behave disrespectfully, the ones who are willing to love you, they're gonna think that you're just a disrespectful bastard when you're actually not. You see? But circumstances made you what you are. But God is saying you don't have to keep being like that. Relax and get back to being yourself. Your positive self. So we have doctor. So basically, this is you culturing yourself and like scheming and plotting and basically working in an a trickstery kind of energy. Because if you want to doctor something, that means you're manipulating it to be what you want it to be instead of allowing it to be what it actually is. Like with your personality, you're manipulating your personality to be what you want it to be instead of being who you actually are. The underlying issue here, we have wrong direction, so it's working against you. We have enemy, we have cult, it's a setup. We have prenuptial agreement or agreement, and pregnant. Let's see what this is saying. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're just creating enemies for yourself. That's what this is saying. Because cult is like secret, yeah? So you're secretly setting people up, setting up situations. Yeah, that's what doctoring is setting things up. Yeah, it's like making an agreement to deliver, but never do. Old. So it's like you're making agreements with people, but you never fulfill your side of the bargain. So we have child support, wanting to fit in. So basically, you're just using that against people. You know people are in need, and you're using their vulnerability, their need to fit in, their need to be accepted, their need to be successful, and you're using it to your advantage. At least you think it's your advantage, but it's actually to your disadvantage because you're not being yourself. And you think that you're going to be successful and you're going to be the winner, even if you get what you want out of the scheme, but actually you're not. You're being false. So that's pretending to love someone, pretending to be on the same page with someone when you're actually not. You're creating enemies. Okay. So not only are you not portraying your correct self, you're actually changing your fate by exhibiting this behavior. You're changing your whole future. Because people who would have liked you, they're not going to like you. People who would have helped you, they're not going to help you. People that you actually want in your life, they're not going to come to you because they think that you're so different to them. You are going to attract the type of people who are of the same personality as the one that you are showing the world from within yourself. So if you're showing the world that you're a scammer, you're going to attract scammers when a scammer is not who you actually are. You see? So yeah, you're putting out the wrong energy out into the world, and therefore you're going to keep attracting the wrong energy. So this is why God is saying to you now, it's time for you to stop doing that. Things aren't going to fall apart for you if you choose to be your true self. Your life will only get better because the right people will come in and the wrong people will leave. Then you could be more at peace instead of having to remember the lies, and instead of having to be acting, you can actually live from your soul instead, without having to look over your shoulders and things like that. So God says know who to ask. The underlying issue here is immature friends. So if these are the type of people that you keep consulting, they're going to keep you away from being your true self. So when you have issues in life, instead of seeking out the more sensible ones from your bunch, you talk to the other bad boys and the other bad girl them. And of course, only what is inside them they can put out to you. So we have do something fun. Immature friends, do something fun. Spend quality time with your parents. Doing drugs. Time to act a fool. Negative influences. It could be on social media, it could be in your life. So the question is, who is he? So who is this that God is talking about? There's an important life lesson here. So let's check out this underlying issue. So we got doing drugs with your parents. So it looks like your parents are negative influences in your life too. Well, can I just say that everybody weren't born with ideal parents. Everybody weren't assigned mature parents, and unfortunately you're one of those who were not assigned mature parents. And just because your parents are doing bad things, it doesn't mean that you need to follow them as well. Because if you look at your parents' lives, what quality is their life? And is that how you want to end up? If you don't want to end up like them, then you should not do the same thing that they're doing. You see? So there's someone here. I don't know who this he is. Perhaps it's you. This he could be representative of you. So who is he? Or maybe this he is someone. It's either someone who is actually a positive role model or someone who is a negative role model. In any case, God wants you to look closer into who this person is. It's a male figure. So look at all the male figures closest to you, including yourself, and work out who is he actually. Okay? God says, start with what you know or have. The rest will flow in. So you don't have to know everything. You don't have to understand everything. Start with what you actually know. Start with what you actually have. And everything else will fall into place gradually. Then we have immature parents. So you don't have the people in your life that you should be able to look up to as positive role models to get you through life. They're like the worst. So that could have a lot to do with how you ended up the way that you are. Okay? So if you know that your parents aren't good for you, then you need to find who is. And the way God works, God always has at least one person in your life that can show you the right way, even if that one person is your own conscience. Let's read on. Sometimes in life, we are all that we have. And that's okay. There's a season for solitude and there's a season to have friends and family around. Okay? At the bottom of the deck, drug addict, thief. So these people who are in your life influencing you, they're influencing you in a whole bunch of wrong behavior, thieving and doing drugs, and that's what's causing your depression. You're being taught all the wrong things, and that's what's causing you. We got resilient, but when I saw it, what I actually saw was that vibe of resistance. We got coward. You're afraid. To be resilient to be resilient is to actually be able to overcome. To be resilient is to be resistant. So instead of factors controlling you, you have the power to overcome factors. But instead of being resilient, you're choosing to be fearful instead. And it is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. It's not good. But now that you know that your parents or whoever it is in your life that, hold on, let me close this door. So now that you know that the ones in your life, the adults in your life, are actually immature adults, that should give you some encouragement and some awareness that it's time for you to start to take more responsibility for yourself. So it's like, if I can't depend on you people to teach me the right things, then it's time that I try to at least learn the right things for my damn self. Because instead of you being the parent, it looks like I have to take the reins and be the fucking parent, which is sad and it's a shame. But a lot of people, unfortunately, end up with parents like those. Okay? Where you end up having to raise yourself, basically. So they provide food and clothes and shelter, but when it comes to your moral compass, you have to take responsibility for that yourself. Because if you watch them and do what they do, you will be trapped in drug addictions and sadness and depression and having to steal to make money. And you know what I'm saying? Instead of you walking that right path by searching yourself, seeing what talents you have, seeing what you love to do, taking yourself to school, learning what you have to learn, and open your own business so you can make honest money. You have very bad influences in your life, Virgo. And that plays a big part in how you are right now. But you have to take some responsibility for this behavior. Okay? Just because they taught you to be this way and you chose to follow in their footsteps, it doesn't mean that the blame is completely theirs. They're being who they are. You chose to follow them. So now that you know that who they are is not the best thing for you, what are you going to do? I basically had to raise myself too, because if I was to listen to my mother, I'd be a prostitute or something, and that just was not in me for me to do. So I did not follow her teachings when it came to that, because she'd be the type to tell you, yeah, go and deal with a man. All right, go and deal with a man and take money, and instead of teaching me to be instead of teaching me to look at my talents and go out and work and make my own money and, you know what I'm saying, be independent, she want me to be dependent on selling myself to men. So I have immature parents too, in more ways than one, you see. Hang on, I have to close my door. So like I was saying, it just wasn't in me to share myself with men in that way. Okay, so I didn't take that lesson. And this is what God is trying to teach you. You don't have to do everything that your parents say, because parents don't always have it all figured out. And yours is below average. Yours isn't even, you know what I'm saying? Some parents, they're great at it. Some parents, they're good at it. Some parents, they're bad at it. Some parents are terrible at it. Some parents don't deserve to be parents at all. yours seem to be the ones that are terrible at it. So you're almost at the bottom. But God started you out in this way because God wants to show you both sides of the fence. So it's like when you become a parent, what type of parent are you going to be? Are you going to be the type of parent that your parents are, or are you going to choose to change that? We have a mystery card. So, we have government, which is parenting, leadership, those in charge, man-made dis-ease. So, your parents help to make you how you are. Dis-ease. You're not at ease, you're diseased. Yeah, it's because of your leadership. The underlying issue is factories. Factories is where people make things. So what they were making in your life is fungus. And you know, fungus isn't a good thing. Disintegrate. To disintegrate is to deteriorate. To disintegrate is to fall apart, break down, be depressed. Okay? So because of the training that you got, that's what's causing you to be in this state. So what's a fungus? A fungus is an organism that, well, it's a plant organism that actually, it leeches off of other plants. So fungus need a host. So that's like where the thieving come in. So it's like, instead of you taking responsibility for your own profession and your own career, using the skills that God gave you, you seek out other people to leech off of, because that's what they taught you. But God says this is the time where that's not happening anymore. If you choose to take a different path, if you choose to take the higher path, you have God's full support in doing so. Okay? Because it's breaking you down. So now we have God-made pestilence, bacteria, and then we have stars. Exactly. So, God-made pestilence. Well, once God does it, then you know it's okay. So what's gonna have to happen is, you know, when you start standing up against your parents and stop being the way that they taught you to be, they're going to be annoyed with you. They're going to be annoyed with you, but God is the one who's putting this in your personality, putting this in your mind for you to be like this. Okay? So that they can see the error of their ways. They're not going to be happy when you start making these positive changes, Virgo. They will not be happy. So you might have to even find somewhere else to go if you live with them. You know? It's going to be a very big change in your life. But God is creating it. And we have bacteria. What do bacteria do? Bacteria eat up stuff. Like if you have dead things, bacteria actually help. They actually help to clean the earth. They could cause damage too, but they actually help to clean as well. Yeah. So it's like a microorganism that they just eat up the last of. Let's say you got dead flesh or something. They eat that away. So yeah. So God is eating all the bad stuff away so that you can then shine. Oh, let's look at the mystery cup. We got man-made volcanic eruption. So this represents all of the towers that you will experience in your life because of bad parenting. Like I said, because you're behaving in this negative manner, which you are not. People around you see you behaving like this and they think, yeah, that's how he is. When really and truly, that's how he was taught to be. It's how you were taught to be. It's not who you actually are. So this is a time where you define the difference between who you were taught to be and who you actually are. So that who is he that came up is actually you. Now it makes sense. And it's important life lessons. So this is the time where you define your own character so that you can take hold of your own fate, of your own destiny, your own social destiny, because by being that way you are attracting the wrong type of people. You're attracting people that you don't even want in your life, because this is not who you truly are. You're living a lifestyle that's making you sad on the inside, even though you may smile sometime on the outside. When you get by yourself and you really take a look at who you are and what you're doing with yourself, you get really down about it because you're not doing what you want to actually be doing. You're not being who you actually want to be in life. And God has come now to show you that the door is open for you right now. If you want to make that change, you need to work with God. Some parts of it is going to be scary. Some parts of it you may be angry. You're going to make other people angry because when people see the ugliness of what they are, they tend to project their anger on other people when they're not ready to change. So if your parents are not ready to change, when you start showing them the error of their ways, they will be upset with you. It doesn't make sense, so don't try to make sense out of it. It's just human behavior. Sometimes human malfunction in that way. So if you do choose to make these changes, know that it's not going to be an easy walk all the time. It won't be a hard walk all the time either, because especially once this is done, you will be able to have more control over yourself, more control over your destiny. And when you have your own children, you will be a better parent to your children than your parents were to you, thereby giving your children a much better start in life than your parents gave to you. The good thing that came out of all this is you actually learned firsthand the effects of bad parenting. You actually got to experience it, which will make it even more clear in your mind why you don't want that in your life, why you don't want to put that in your child or your children's lives. You understand? So God didn't put you through this for no reason. This is actually going to make you a much wiser and stronger individual, because when you start resisting it, you'll know exactly why. It's going to make you a better person. And you'll be able to teach people about this too because you actually lived it. So, I hear money. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Probably writing some books, some songs, just using creativity to express this experience that you've had to endure. You know what I'm saying? Don't see it as a sad, um, don't see it as a sad. I mean, you could get sad about it sometimes, but don't spend all your time there being sad and angry about how you started off in life. Recognize that experience is the best teacher. And now that you've learned these valuable things, you'll be able to share it with other people. Okay? You'll be able to help other young men and young women who are in your position to overcome this madness of having these fucked up parents in our lives. And that is priceless. And by right, you can find some way to make money out of your struggles. Turn your mess into a message and let that message bring you some moolah. Shit. Yeah, so that's the messages that God has for you regarding your divine protection. So the fact that this comes out as your divine protection reading shows you that you have God's full support in making this transition from being who your parents encouraged you to be being who you actually were created to be. Be comfortable and happy within your own skin. Alright? You got God's full support. So fuck who don't like it. They need to grow the fuck up anyway. So, thank you so much for watching Youngaz Virgo males. Until next time. Bye bye.